Accessing peace. Existing without violence, with the ability to calmly resolve conflict. Downloading love. An overwhelming, deep, positive affection towards others. Activating liberty. Living your life as you see fit without infringing on the lives of others.
Welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. This is episode 460, which means, do the math, roughly 40 episodes away from episode 500. And I'm working on some ideas in my noggin of what I want to do with that episode 500. But I would also like your thoughts. Send those thoughts to episode 500 at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism, the friendliest anarchist you will ever meet. And this is supposed to be the Ask Me Anything episode. But I realized a couple of hours ago that I forgot to do something that I normally do earlier in the week, and that is to send out the reminders on all of the social medias that I answer your questions every Friday. And thus, I'm going to partially blame myself here. I had no questions come in this week for the Ask Me Anything. So, what do I do when I have no questions? Well, I just talk. And I talk about basically whatever I want to talk about. And I stumbled across something earlier today. And it reminded me of a quote. And I forget the exact quote, but something along the lines of, every child is an artist until they're told that they're not. Something along those lines. I forget the exact quote, and I forget who said it, but it's something that I've heard repeated, a good bit recently. And, well, this article that I came across reminded me of that. Title is, "This Innocent Little Comment on a Child's Drawing Can Kill Their Creativity." You heard that right. Little comments on children's drawings kill their creativity. Again, remember, every child's an artist until they learn that they're not. And how do they learn that they're not? Well, because of little comments on things. The article comes from lifehack.org. It says, your child comes home and presents you with a drawing of a house. There's a blue house, a yellow sun, and a green sky. You admire their handiwork and then gently ask, why is the sky green? Shouldn't it be blue? Most teachers and parents would have the same reaction. But before you speak, stop. That innocent little comment carries a powerful punch. Unbeknownst to you, you're about to squelch your child's natural developing creativity. Now, I'm going to pause and say that, yes, the sky generally appears to be blue. However, if you look at some of the most famous paintings in the world, they don't look exactly like what you would think they would look like. Starry Night, one of my favorite paintings of all time, does not look like anything I've ever seen when I've looked into a night sky. I've also never looked into a night sky while tripping on all kinds of drugs, but I digress. The point is still the same, that, with art comes creativity. With creativity comes thinking outside the box. Why are you trying to put somebody else in your tiny, tiny little box and let them just pretend that there is no box? Or, give them a box and let them do whatever the hell they want to with it. I remember when I was a kid, I loved playing in boxes. You might think I'm joking, You might think that I'm summoning my inner cat. And actually, when I was a kid, I had no clue that cats sat in boxes. Like, never even crossed my mind that that's a thing cats do until, I don't know, a couple of years ago when I started seeing pictures of cats in boxes online on Facebook. But the point is, let children use their imagination. Let them be creative. If they want to draw a picture with a green sky, let them draw a picture with a green sky. Now, at some point later in life, you can explain to them, like maybe they don't understand colors. Maybe, there might be a legitimate, sort of colorblind thing to where they think that they're drawing the sky the color that they see the sky. I don't know. But I digress and continue. Dr. Erin Kleboff, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She's also a neurobiologist and professor of biology, says everyone has the ability to be creative, that creativity can be easily crushed by goals imposed by others. So it's not the goals that you put on yourself that crush your creativity. It's not the limitations you put on yourself that crush your creativity. It's not, you being inside your own little box, because I used to, sit in a little box. Not a little box, it was, like a big giant box that huge cases of styrofoam cups came in. But I would draw on the side of the box and turn the box into a race car, turn it into an airplane, turn it into all kinds of really cool things. And I'd just be in this box having adventures by myself inside of a box. So yeah, I was in a box. I was creative. I was creative. My parents let me use my creativity inside of my own little box. They didn't try to make me fit into their little box on that. Now, there were other things where I didn't like playing soccer, but my dad wanted me to play soccer at the Y. So he signed me up for the soccer team, even though I didn't want to be on the soccer team. And then I had to play defense, and that was boring because you just stand there by the goalie and you don't do anything. That's how you kill creativity. Tell somebody just go stand there over by the goalie and don't do nothing. There's more here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. Coinbase is a simple and secure online Bitcoin wallet for sending, receiving, and storing Bitcoin. Coinbase also allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin using a bank account or use their tools to accept Bitcoin as a merchant. Coinbase has more than 1 million consumer wallets and is trusted by over 25,000 merchants, including Overstock.com, Khan Academy, Reddit, and of course, FPP. Get started at coinbase.fppradio.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
Yeah, we're talking about boxes. Goalie boxes, cardboard boxes, boxes that you put on yourself or you limit your creativity, boxes you put on other people, boxes that your parents may have put on you, boxes you might put on your kids. Because we're talking about creativity and ways that creativity winds up getting crushed in people. Again, article comes from lifehack.org. Not everyone needs to see the world in the same light, and they shouldn't. Before you mention that the sky should be blue, consider your reasons carefully. Your child can see that a sky is blue, but in their world that they just created, in that picture that they just drew, where it's green, it's not blue. allow them the freedom to be creative. Creativity fosters critical thinking and problem-solving skills. It helps people to deal with stress and adapt to changes. Now I'm going to pause here and apologies beforehand to Roger Paxton and Brian McQuaid and Brian Sovereign and other people that I know are Star Wars fans. But imagine if in 1970, whatever it was, and George Lucas went to some movie producer and said, hey, I've got an idea for this movie where there's this guy that lives on a desert planet and there's 2 suns and blah, 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 blah. And the movie producer guy was like, hey, wait a second. There's not 2 suns in the sky. There's only 1 sun. What are you smoking? And just scrapped the whole thing. Because some dude named George Lucas may have been a little off his rocker with these really out there ideas. And, well, we can't let people have these kinds of ideas. Although for some reason it's perfectly okay for adults who have title of movie producer or author to have these really out there ideas of green sun or green sky, 2 suns, casting a single shadow, and all kinds of other stuff. That's okay because, well, they're they know what they're doing. They're making movies. They know what they're doing. But oh yeah, a little 5-year-old that's got some crayons. Kid, the sky really should be blue, not green. What are you smoking? Well, little 5-year-old hopefully is not smoking anything. But the point is, let them be creative. Imagine if George Lucas's parents would have hindered and stifled his creativity when he was 5 because he drew 2 big yellow suns in a picture of outside. The article continues. Most adults unwittingly squash creativity and limit imagination with misguided good intentions. In fact, you may be surprised at some of these creativity barriers. And they list 5 of them here. Criticizing. You may believe constructive criticism helps, but you're actually crushing your child's creativity. Pressure to perfection. Making your child feel pressured to succeed, putting all of the emphasis on a perfect end product instead of their creative process. And this is something, again, that a lot of parents might not even realize that they're doing. And I certainly think that, my dad didn't realize what he was doing. No, you're going to play soccer, but I don't want to play soccer. Doesn't matter, you're playing soccer. He was putting pressure on me to do something that he wanted me to do, not something that I wanted to do. Continuing on with the list of things that parents do that wind up crushing creativity. Helicopter parenting. Give your child some space. Fluttering around them only builds up pressure to perform for you, not for themselves. Restricting choices. You should instead allow them, or instead of only allowing them to paint with one brush and not their fingers, the other end of the brush, a chopstick or other items, kills creativity. Telling them to play outside, but don't get dirty, kills creativity. Play should be just that. It should be play. If they want to play inside with the Legos, let them play inside with the Legos. If they want to play outside in a dirt pile, let them play outside in a dirt pile. Yes, you're going to have to do the laundry either way. You might wind up having to use, the extra strength detergent to get out some of the dirt stains. Or you could just say, you know what? Those are now your outside playing clothes. We will wash your outside playing clothes separate from all the other clothes. Doesn't matter that they're a little stained. You only wear those when you go play outside in the dirt pile. You want to go run through mud puddles? Yep, go ahead. Put on your outside dirty playing clothes. Play should be play. And the next thing on the list here, being bossy. Stop being a dictator. Creativity is best fostered in freedom of space and not from being told, this is how you do it. Should and must are two different words. I'll repeat this for the slow libertarians in the back of the room who might need to go grab a dictionary. Should and must are two different words. One more time. Write this down. Grab a pencil. I'll wait. Should and must are two different words. The article continues. The feedback given by adults can either boost or limit a child's imagination. Even though you may not be able to stop your child's school from funneling their art funds into a new math textbooks, there are ways you can work with your child to boost their creativity and stop limiting their imaginations. And we'll delve into the various ways here that they give of how to help boost your child's creativity. And, this also fits with the inner child inside of each and every one of us. Because we've all got that little, creative 12-year-old or 7-year-old inside of us that just wants to, do fun stuff all the time. Let's foster that. Stay tuned. There's more.
During the 2013 Porcupine Freedom Festival, Davi Barker presented an idea for a renegade psychological experiment. Since then, he has refined his idea and put his plan and research into writing. He explains, "We aim to show the world beyond a shadow of a doubt that power corrupts absolutely and corrupt authority deserves no obedience." Authoritarian Sociopathy is available from Amazon.com, all major bookstores, and now available as an audiobook. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry. Online at fppradio.com.
Hey, welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. Changing gears here momentarily. Instead of getting creative with, imagination and painting and drawing and writing stuff, maybe you want to get a little creative in the way you wind up saving money for the future. And what better way than to kind of go old school a little bit? I'm talking about getting your hands on some precious metals like gold and silver. The wonderful people over at Roberts & Roberts Brokerage can help you out. They've been helping people since 1977. Helping them not only buy, but also sell precious metals. Maybe you've got some gold, you've got some silver you need to liquidate. Call Tim Fry at Roberts & Roberts Brokerage. Maybe you want to get your hands on some gold or silver. Call Tim Fry at Roberts & Roberts Brokerage. And it's not just old school precious metals, they're also new school. They take cryptocurrencies for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid with Bitcoin. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760. That's 800-874-9760. Or visit them online at rrbi.co. Jumping back into the article from Lifehack about how innocent, or what appear to be innocent little comments, can crush your child's creativity. And maybe, some of these comments crushed your inner child's creativity. Well, let's work on that. Let's bring out that creativity. Let's bring out and use our imaginations. How can we do that? Well, you need to kind of rewire your brain a little bit. The article says adults can become set in their ways of thinking, like thinking video games are bad and today's music will never match up to that of yesterday. Outdated ideas. And let me pause here very quickly to say, I don't know what adults this author is hanging out with, but the adults that I know enjoy video games. Now, today's music, some of it is kind of not that good. Kind of. But I've got to say, a lot of the stuff that was popular in the 90s was kind of junk too. And the only reason I mention the 90s is because that's when I was a teenager, was in the 90s. Yeah, that music was kind of bad. The article here continues, outdated ideas. In order to foster your child's creativity, it may require a rewiring of your own brain and your own ways of thinking. Stop yourself from running on autopilot and praising the product rather than the process. The sky may not be blue, but it took your child a long time and hard work to create it. Before you condemn that computer time, realize that digital art is as creative as drawing with pencil and ink. Realize your world is not their world. Stop trying to make your children see the world as you see it. Your judgments, your viewpoints belong to you. You've had numerous years and experience to base them upon and with which to measure them. Your child has a short span of experiences. Children have the ability to use their imagination better than adults because they aren't tainted by time and judgment against the massive amount of data that adult brains collect. And also, going, off the, pausing from the article here, children also have not had their, creativity crushed down and told how horrible it is. Oh, well, that's a stupid idea. That's a dumb idea. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. That's not a good idea. Again, imagine if George Lucas would have, everybody that he shared various ideas with told him how dumb his ideas were. You can't have two big yellow suns in the sky. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. What's wrong with you, George? And then Star Wars never would have happened. But again, I digress and get back into the article. Allow your children the freedom to use their own senses for themselves, unbiased by your suggestions. Provide your child with the tools, the space, and the time they need to help foster their creativity, and watch out for those creative busters like helicopter parenting and dictatorial decrees. Try not to inadvertently crush their creativity, even if it means rewiring your own ways of thought. Working with your child's creative process and not against it, you never know, you may be raising the next big innovator. Maybe your kid, and I know there's always the thing of, maybe your kid's the one that's going to cure cancer. Maybe your kid's the one that is going to, cure fill-in-the-blank disease, or be this, or be that. Maybe your kid is the one that comes up with the next, super huge idea that just winds up driving generations of people for, going on 40 years now is how long Star Wars has been around, plus then there's all the movies that are still yet to come. Again, what if George Lucas's parents, and I'm not a Star Wars fan, but what if his parents would have crushed his creativity as a kid? Imagine all the movies that you would not have. Imagine all the comic books you would not have, all the books that would not exist. Stay tuned. There's more here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
Hey, this is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've been working with computer programmer Derek Slopey to create Fiend Phone. I'm using Fiend Phone right now to talk with and record one of my co-hosts in real time. Take it, Davi.
Hey, this is Davi Barker, and I'm 1,000 miles away from Michael, but we sound like we're in the same room.
We sure do, Davi. So, Davi, please tell the nice people more about Fiend Phone.
Fiend Phone is free, open-source software that opens up a global world of possibilities for collaborative, high-quality remote voice media production, and I'm digging it.
People can try the Windows beta version of Fiend Phone right now at fiendphone.com. But we're also raising money to vastly improve Fiend Phone and vastly improve independent talk media worldwide.
So go to fiendphone.com to help out. Who will build the audio roads? We will, with your help.
That's fiendphone.com. FEENPHONE.com. Foxtrot, Echo, Echo, November, phone.com.
Fiend Phone. I never knew remote audio could be this good.
This is Paige Peterson from Made Safe, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. Continuing with the article about how to make sure you don't kill your child's creativity. Stop criticizing their work. You may believe that constructive criticism helps when you believe their clay bunny should have longer ears, but you are crushing their creativity. The rewards are in the process, whether they come out looking like a rabbit or resemble a melted lump of eyes. And just to defend the bunny with shorter ears, there actually are some bunnies that have shorter ears. I forget what breeds they are, but there are bunnies with short ears. So don't be some kind of, ear length judgmentalist. And yes, I realized that wasn't the actual term I was looking for, but, had one of those things to where I just couldn't think of the word. So ear length judgmentalist is what I am now going to call anybody that says that bunnies should have longer ears. You are an ear-length judgmentalist. The rewards, again, are in the process. When they began, they may have envisioned their masterpiece in their mind, but it's the process that exercises creativity, not the outcome. They will learn more from their own trial and errors, like those long bunny ears needing support, than just you telling them that the bunny needs longer ears. Don't be a bunny ear length judgmentalist. And don't interfere with the creative process. Don't get in the way of their play. When they add a bucket of water to that pile of dirt and start squishing their hands through it, just bite your tongue. When they put the paintbrush aside and dip their fingers straight into the paint and start coloring the paper with their thumbs, twist your hands behind your back and close your mouth. You are witnessing imagination at work. Remember, you can hose them down and wash their hands afterwards, and now they just have a set of, these are your outside dirty play clothes. No, you don't get to wear those when you go to the nice meeting. You don't get to wear those when you go to grandma's for Christmas. Those are your outside dirty play clothes. And we just wash those separate from everything else. Don't crush your kids' creativity, and don't crush your own. There are so many adults that just wind up not being creative at all. Can't be creative because reasons. Hey, don't forget, every Friday I answer your question. Send those over ama.fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News, and also get a copy of the monthly newspaper FPP News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.